What is up, party people? Welcome back to Saturdays and Seltzers, or welcome if you are new here. My name is Kendra Middleton, and I am joined by my co-host, Sarah Griffin. Sarah, it's been 2 weeks off. How are you?
Pretty good. Good, actually. Yeah.
Okay,
How are we doing?
good to hear. I am also good. If you don't follow us anywhere or you're a new listener, I had a concussion from snowboarding. After we already took a week off because Sarah got sick, so we've been off for 2 weeks. It's been a minute, so bear with us if we are, a little off for a minute, but I feel like we're okay. Sarah, are you feeling better?
Yeah, honestly, I was feeling great up until like 5 minutes from now. I just texted Kendra. I was setting things up and like a spark, like it was like big. I thought it was gonna start a fire or something.
Oh
I
my
don't know.
God.
So I don't have the ring light in. My laptop's not plugged in. I do have full battery, so knock on wood.
We'll be
But
okay. We'll make it work.
yeah, up until then, I was like, things are going great today.
Life is great. Okay, well, you said you are drinking. So before we get to our HLH, I usually if you listen to us, we will do our HLH first and then talk about what we're drinking. But I'm so anxious to try this because it sounds disgusting, but I'm so intrigued. So I want to talk about this first. Sarah, what are you drinking?
I'm just drinking my spicy margarita again.
Spicy margarita, Tequila Tuesday. We need
That's
to make it
right.
happen. We need to. I realize that it is March, but I went grocery shopping yesterday and saw this at Trader Joe's and was like, I just need to know. I need to know. So I am drinking a pumpkin spiked seltzer water in
Ooh.
March. This is, I need to know. So
It sounds
this is,
very hit or miss. Okay.
it does not smell good. Okay. I don't really know. I don't know, dude. Okay, so you remember when we tried the flannel pack of Bud Lights?
Do I ever?
It tastes it tastes like one of those, but like less like syrup. Like if
I can't
Whole
tell if
Foods made a version of like the Bud Light seltzers.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah, me either. But I'm gonna drink it. And maybe when I'm done with it, I'll see how I feel. Because right now, I'm just gonna throw it out there. I'm really high. And this just threw my brain into a pretzel. Before any of you come at me, I do live in Massachusetts. I am off of work for the day and I'm a freaking adult. But yeah, so I'm just gonna let you guys know that now. So this just really like threw me for a loop. But we'll see how it goes. So HLH has probably become my favorite segment that we do. I don't know why. It's just always hilarious to me. But if you're new here, we do this segment called our HLH, which is our high, low hero of the last week. This time I am just doing a week, even though it's been 2 weeks. So Sarah, what's your HLH?
Okay, I have a couple things or a few things for my high. One is that the sun's been out because I feel like I've just been in a funk for the last 3 months and then that's kind of for 3 months.
Yeah.
And then like the sun came out Wednesday, like last Wednesday is like 65. Like I had school and stuff. But I was just like, you know what? Life's worth living. And I'm just kind of riding that high. I'm like, you know what? Things aren't that bad.
Well, so daylight savings is Sunday, correct?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it
Or
is.
no, not this Sunday, next Sunday.
Oh, it's next Sunday?
It's the 13th.
Okay.
So that's a high. We'll take that. But yes, the sun has been so nice.
Yeah, so the sun being out is one. Friday night I had off. We just had like a girls' night, but like I actually got to go out and like do shit and like socialize, and it was
Okay.
amazing. Amazing
Okay.
thing to happen for me.
Good for you.
And then my favorite thing I think that happened is today. I don't know if you saw my tweets. I woke up this morning. Well, first of all, I woke up this morning at like 5:30, just randomly. I stayed at my friend Maggie's and I checked my phone to see what time it was. And I had this text from this kid that I went on a date with
Yes.
in June.
Yes.
And we went mini golfing. It's the only date we ever went on. Like, I kicked it. When I tell you, I beat this kid's ass. Like, it was so, like, one of the prouder moments of mine. But I've never really thought of it since then. Like, he just like got so angry about it. I was like, okay, this is not someone I like want to really associate with. Like, this is weird.
Yeah.
It's just mini golf. Like, it's okay. Like, I wouldn't get that upset about it. I didn't know we were going, and you seem to have this whole thing planned out. I just kicked your ass. But anyway,
Is he a golfer? Because if so, that's even worse.
I know he does like golf regularly. Anyways,
F.
we had not spoken since like the next day. I was like, yeah, like I just don't really see this going anywhere. And he was not happy, but that was the last we spoke. And then today I woke up at 5:30, just checked my phone, and I see this kid's name, and like I honestly forgot that he
existed.
Because he doesn't have social media. So like
that's a red flag. Whoa. That's a fucking red flag. Sarah.
Well, I have something else to add on to that once I'm done with this story.
Is this Chaz 2.0?
You're gonna kill me when you hear how I met this person. But so anyways, I see his name and I was like, I saw the tags just like, you're not even that good at golf, like blah blah blah. And I was like, I'm just having one of those weird dreams where you wake up and like you think
fever dream.
Like, and I was like, this is not real life. Like, why? No way. I go back to bed. I wake up, my alarm goes off at 8, and I go to respond to a text I got like 7:30. And I'm in my messages. I'm like, wait, that text is real.
It happened.
He actually did text me at 3:20 in the morning. 3:20 on a Wednesday.
Oh no, sweetie, what is you doing?
And I'm like, okay, I know you're not like out and about because he works like finance or something.
I mean, I don't put it past a finance bro. Does he live in Southie?
No, here's the thing. He lives on Hampton Beach.
What? That's Sarah, the red flags are...
No, just wait till you hear where I met him.
Hampton is like New England Daytona.
Bernie.
You met him where?
At Bernie.
Sarah, do you know how many drunken nights I have spent at Bernie's?
I was so drunk and he asked for my number, and I honestly, when he texted me the next day, I was like, I don't know what he looks like, and he doesn't have social media. So the first time I like saw him, he was very, very cute. Like,
so it was like a blind date?
Yes.
Sarah, you're kidding.
Reappeared at 3:20 in the morning. Hello.
He was probably leaving. Oh, Bernie's is closed for the season. Never mind. He was probably like at freaking Wally's until like 3 a.m. What the fuck?
And I was Sarah. Like, well, I could tweet this because I know he'll never fucking see it.
Watch him have a burner to just follow you.
Probably. I'm like waiting to get some like, fuck you, you stupid bitch.
Or one of his friends. That would be so on brand.
I'm just waiting. I know I probably will get off this like but yeah, that's kind of high just because then I had a confidence boost all day. Like, wow, that was June. I have been living rent-free for 8
You're still
months.
Caught up. Jeez.
Like, sweet. Good for me.
Good for you.
So that took a bit of a turn just because I didn't give the people the full background.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. Okay.
My lows have been apartment hunting because Boston rent's insane. And then also Euphoria is over, so that fucking sucks. It's not coming back till 2024. But mainly apartment hunting has been brutal.
My landlord is trying to raise our rent 80%. When he put 80%, and he put a clause in our lease that said if we didn't let him know by March 31st, if we wanted to renew or not, it auto renewed at 5% increase. So we are telling him that like, that's what we want to do. And it's a lease that he signed. And he was like, he's like been saying, nope, we're like raising your rent. So we've been like calling around to like see what our rights are and stuff, but it's been like insane. Everyone's rent's going up crazy. 80% though.
80, not like maybe 6 times.
Yeah, I'm like, I am not moving. No way, no how.
It's tough out there.
Do you know how hard this was to put up? Hello? No, I am not leaving.
Once you have the SNS and Bustin sign up, it's over.
It's
That's where you're
over.
staying.
You can never move. Never. That is not bussin' of him.
Mm-mm. Your landlord is not bussin'.
He is not bussin'. Anyways.
My hero, I didn't know that next week was my spring break till yesterday. My professor was like, so what's everyone's plans for spring break? Like, and I like must have made a face or something. He's like, okay, Sarah just found out we have spring break.
Yeah. Yep.
I was like, I knew it was in the month of March. I did not know it was next week. He's like, okay, like, so you don't have anything planned? I was like, if I knew that spring break was coming up, I would have planned something.
True.
I'm like, nope, I don't. I'm going out for your birthday.
Woo! Yeah, this is my last episode on the right side of 25, ladies and gents. Give it up for 26. I'll be at 26 on Tuesday. I actually used to hate my birthday. Like, I've never really been big into my birthday, but I'm kind of into my birthday this year, and I think that that's okay. Like, it's
Birthdays
26. Yeah, it's 26. It doesn't matter. But like, I grew a lot last year. A lot of bad shit happened to me. A lot of good shit happened to me. And I think that's what I want to celebrate, is that like, I'm good with where I'm at in the like last year of my life. So you know what? I'm not a birthday person, but I am a birthday person this year. And if you don't like me, that's fine, because it's International Women's Day too. So you have to like me that day. So tell me happy birthday on Tuesday.
Your birthday's on International Women's Day?
Hell yeah, it is, bitch.
Oh.
I know. I'm so excited. That's why I love my birthday, is because I feel like it's a really good day in the news too. Like, you hear so much cool stuff about, especially like in our side of the world, about like women in sports and stuff like that. So like, I think it's a cool day to be born on, for sure. Like, I think it's sick.
See, my birthday's on Women in Baseball Day, which used to be super cool when I was like, still like, yeah, I want to work in baseball and stuff. Now I'm just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Good for women in baseball. I am no longer one.
Rip. We have more on that coming up later in the show for sure. We have lots of baseball to talk about, because in the last 2 weeks, a lot of crap's happened. And we haven't really talked about baseball together. I feel like we talk a lot about hockey, like when we chat, but like, I feel like we don't really talk about baseball because we're both kind of over it. But
I say they haven't given us much to talk about till right now.
Yeah. My HLH, my high was in New York, specifically the food I had in New York. I had such good food in New York, and I have been daydreaming about it since, so much to the point where like, I don't even want to eat anything that's like not gourmet this week. I'm like, no, it's just like not good enough. So I guess that's my high. My low, I was cleaning out my phone while I was on the train the other day, and I found a picture of Chaz that kind of okay, if you have not been here since the absolute beginning,
day one,
like literally, and like wow, that is probably day actually one. Our first episode. Yeah, we went out one night with this kid named Chaz, and he wound up being an absolute fucking douchebag, and now we hate him. And I found a picture of him on my phone, so it was just kind of like a funny full circle moment. So but like, seeing his face, I just got like re-mad. I don't know, does that happen to you? Do you ever like see someone and you just get like re-pissed?
Every day I look at my Snapchat memories from like the last 2 years, and it's with the same fucking person. I'm like, this is the worst way to start my day right now. Like, I've just stopped looking at my Snapchat memories to start off.
I wish you could block like certain
people.
Yeah. My other low was that I had a bunch of shit going on with my computer, and my computer, thanks to a product Apple sold me like that they shouldn't have, like fried my internal stuff, and I had to have it fixed. And it killed my third external hard drive of the last 6 months. And so I lost everything and can't get it back. So that sucked. And that happened to me a couple months ago too. I'm sure you remember that.
I was saying, did that just happen?
Yeah. So I think that I have learned my lesson. I need to invest in a second external hard drive, because I just, at this point, I don't know what else to do. My hero, I obviously covered some college basketball the other night. If you follow me on Instagram or Twitter, you probably saw that. If you don't, I covered a game the other night. And I didn't know this, but the playback guy put me dancing that I didn't know I was being recorded, rolling into Bruins pregame. So you know what? Whatever. Screw it. I'm okay with it. It was kind of hilarious, but my mom texted me and she was like, what just happened? So there's that. That was my hero, I guess. I think that I have made my mind up about this and I don't like it. I would not repurchase. So
okay, that's what I kind of figured.
It's a pass. It is a pass from me. I guess we can, we hinted at talking about some baseball. We can start off with baseball just because it's such a big topic right now. Is baseball canceled? Like, are we done? Like, I'm kind of over it. Like, I don't even want a season at this point.
Like, I definitely want a season. I know, like, right now it's just like the first 2 series are canceled. Like, not even they're going to make it up. Like, I know they said players aren't going to be paid for it. Whatever. Spring training, who the fuck knows what the fuck's going on there? I don't know. It's like, I will say I got a lot of shit when I was like, oh, I'm switching from baseball to focus more on lacrosse. People gave me a lot of shit for that. I'm like, look who's fucking laughing now. Not to like a prick, but I'm like, so many people thought they could go and tell me like that was a terrible career move, blah, blah. I'm like, well, look who's employed and look who has a season still.
Talk your shit, girl. Talk it. Seriously. Talk your shit.
Like, fuck you guys, because I feel so bad just for everyone in baseball, because the fact that, I think we've said it before, the fact that this sport has or this league, I should say, because there is other baseball this fucking league has forced like fans to like actually get into like the like finances and business of the sport. Like, just tells you everything you need to know. Like, I'm sorry, as just a pure baseball fan, I want to watch the game. I want to shout some random shit at people. I want to heckle people. I want to eat my hot dog. I want to have my beer. And I want to worry about nothing else. Like, why the fuck am I, as a fan, concerned? Well, the CBA and like this. I'm like, shut the fuck up. I don't know what those words mean, and I'll fucking say it. I'll admit it. I don't know what that means.
Good for you. Good for fucking you. Go off, queen. It's okay to say you don't know, because sometimes there is some shit that people don't know that we're talking about and they're willing to admit it. So you know what? You might be smarter than me at something. Good for fucking you. If I don't know it, I'm going to tell you I don't know it.
Yeah, because I'm like, okay, I understand the lockout. I understand what the 2 sides are fighting for. But then when they get into, they're going to the 13th round of arguing, because like, honestly, when that all was going on, that was during the 7-0 Bruins Kings game. So I'm like, look at my Twitter timeline. I'm trying to work. I'm like, can these baseball people shut the fuck up? Like, this is the best Bruins. But I'm like, they're probably telling me to shut the fuck up. But
it's true.
I'm like, seriously, we're going to the 14th round of arguments. Like, you aren't there. Like, what the hell are they arguing about for 14 rounds?
Well, so my whole point this entire time, and I haven't really seen a lot of people talk about this, is kind of the PR nightmare that MLB has kind of found themselves in at this point. And it's all their fault. And I think it's kind of hilarious, because if you look at it from the perspective of all of these baseball writers everywhere should be talking about trades and spring training and all that crap, and they have nothing else to write about, to the point where they dug into what's actually going on and what's wrong with you guys and what you're doing. And now that's the entire headline, when that shouldn't even have been in the conversation right now. And it's like, on top of everything else that you guys are getting shit on for right now, it's just making you look worse. You're losing more money. People are losing respect for you. You're losing fans and people like you and me. And it's just, they keep kind of fucking themselves over worse and worse and worse, to the point where they have to be concerned with how much money they're losing with all of this going on. Like, and the whole thing is about money. So it's just kind of comedic to me at this point that this is how this is going down. And you guys just keep making yourselves look worse, and you're digging yourself into a place that you're not going to be able to get out of.
No, it's so true, especially what you say with it being a PR nightmare. Because I was listening to a podcast recently, and it was talking about lacrosse and lacrosse getting free agency in the PLL. And they're like, look at like baseball, like, because obviously, like with lacrosse, it's tough to keep buzz in the off season because they don't have like this big free agency frenzy like you see in like the major 4 leagues. And they use the example of baseball, and like that's how people stay engaged all off season, because you always have these big trades or these big contract signings and stuff. But I'm like, now you're having none of that, and the only publicity you're getting, like you said, is writers being forced to cover this lockout, because what else are they going to talk about? They literally can't talk about anything else except maybe like minor leaguers that aren't even on the 40-man roster, which, unless you're like a diehard fan of a team, like most people, they aren't really digging into that type of stuff, or they're not like, if you're not a diehard minor leaguer fan, I guess.
But that
in
exposure is
general,
getting them in trouble, man.
and like now, like you're in the news. Like I saw people posting on their story about the MLB lockout, and I'm like, I know you don't watch baseball, so I don't know why you care. But the fact that you're posting on your story because that's what's catching your eye is not good. Like I
know
posted
it's
a
bad.
poll on my Instagram, like, is baseball washed? Like all this stuff. And there were some like people that said no, that I was kind of surprised because like I don't think you like follow baseball in any way. So like I'm not sure if you entirely know what you're saying. But then there's also people that said yes. I'm like, I don't think this person really follows baseball.
Yo, I can tell you right now, we love baseball. Like if you have followed us for 5 minutes, you know that we love baseball. Like summertime up here hits like nothing else. We spent how many nights on the Monster last year? Not only the season through the playoffs, like how like the games we went to, all that stuff. It's like we love baseball. Yeah, we love different teams, but we love baseball. And it's like to the point where I don't care whether there's a season or not right now, as long as people who I like are taken care of. Fine, fuck it. Like, and all the people, all the players who have retweeted, I don't remember whose tweet it was, and I'm really blanking on it. It's going to drive me nuts. Who said, was it Rizzo? That it was Anthony Rizzo. He said that this is for the future generation of baseball. Good for fucking Anthony Rizzo, dude.
Oh, I will say, I got a lot of mad responses to my Instagram poll because obviously a lot of minor leaguers follow me, and they're like, it's not just Major League Baseball. Like baseball's not watched. Like you can watch this. I was like, I understand that. I do, and I'm not blaming anyone except Rob Manfred and those high ups. I'm like, but you have to admit they are fucking killing sports. Like, oh yeah, he's absolutely killing the sport as a whole. I was like, okay, that's the only point I'm trying to make here.
It's true. Yeah. I don't know. It's a tough place to be. I think it's a tough time to be one, a baseball fan, and two, someone working in baseball. I think it's a really tough time, but I do kind of hope that this will lead to something better for the future of baseball, because I love baseball. I love it in the summertime. Like it's one of those, I don't know. It's like one of the things that I enjoy. So I hope that it gets a little bit better. But speaking of talking about things that you don't understand, as an NHL fan, a Bruins fan, what the fuck is going on with David Krejci? I'm so confused.
David Krejci?
Yeah, I've seen that he's like not playing in the NHL or like something like that. He's like staying somewhere. I was reading an article today. Have you heard?
So he's been playing, like, you know how he left the Bruins because he's like, I'm gonna go play at home in Czech, like Republic, whatever. So he's been playing there. I think what you probably have been seeing is the like narrative that Bruins fans have been trying to spin, that there's a chance he comes back. Which one, he like made it pretty clear, like, I have no intention of coming back this season, which I think maybe they kind of ran with like, oh, like he's open to coming back in the future. But then one, the deadline for him to have joined the Bruins, I think has already passed. Two, he went to the Olympics with the Czech team, like, and three, he's already back to his like club that he's playing for, and he's been killing it. Like, and I'm pretty sure it's reached past the window now that he can't even come back here if he wanted to. But then there was a writer, one of the Bruins writers, tweeted at Brad Marchand, like asking him about like, oh, now that you have that second line with like Hall and Pasta, like, do you think like David Krejci's even missed? Like, do you think he'll want to come back? Like, this finally got this like solid second line. And Brad was like, David Krejci's like not on our mind. Like, he shows that he wants to play in front of his family and friends, and he has every right to do that.
Yep.
And that's just like not our concern. We're just happy for him. It was just, I think, kind of like one fan spinning something, and then also just that writer caught traction because Brad did end up responding. I was like, no.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was so confused because I read that article today, and I was like, I thought it was pretty clear that he wasn't coming back, and I think Bruins Twitter kind of ran with that a little bit, and I was confused for a minute. Yeah, as they do. Something that Bruins Twitter did not run with, though, that I think they should have, is the fact that Charlie Coyle is a Pisces, a Pisces man. If you're not into astrology, fuck you. Like, give us like our 3 minutes of girl time other than our freaking later segments. So shut up for 30 seconds. He just not seem like a Pisces man to me.
You have to explain to me though, because I only know like about like Geminis because I am a Gemini, and then like people that I've dated what their sign is. I've never dated a Pisces like man, so
they're like emotionally manipulative.
Really? Oh,
yes.
I don't fucking know Charlie Coyle. Who am I to say it? But
if I found out that the father of Bodie and Gracie was emotionally manipulative, I think that would be my 13th reason. I'm just throwing that out there.
Same.
Because if he is, don't ruin that for me. I've interviewed him one time. He seemed like the nicest human in the whole world. I love watching him play. I love him and Danielle. I love their dogs. Don't ruin this for us. You know, we're fangirls, but I just had to throw that out there because it really threw me for a loop. I'm going to be honest. So I wanted to get your opinion on the Bruins trade deadline, because that's another thing that I feel like Bruins Twitter has run wild with, and it's kind of concerning me for the fan base a little bit. I also saw that Thomas Hertl could maybe come here from the Sharks, which makes me sad but happy. I don't know. So I want to get your thoughts on what's going on with the trade deadline for the Bruins, since we got like 3 weeks left. I think like March 21st or something.
I think it's March 21st.
Yeah.
This kind of overlaps with one of the points I had with my Jake DeBrusk thing, just because Jake DeBrusk did the other day say like, even like he's not such like the biggest hot streak, he's up on the top line now. He's like, I still want to be traded. I am too, which I'll get into that because like I was going off to my sister the other day because Lauren's like the most. Let's just go into the hockey
stuff now. Yeah, whatever we like. Okay. Yeah, let's get into it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So the other night, Jake DeBrusk has first career hat trick. It started off as his 5th goal in 5 games, and then just kept adding on. So it ended up being a natural hat trick, which is crazy because also Mitch Marner, I only know because I was covering that game, had his first career hat trick a couple days before. It was also a natural hat trick, which I feel like there's not a lot of those these days. So I was like, it's kind of weird that happened a couple times within one weekend, and also they're both there first. But anyways, that 7-0 Kings game was just like unreal. Great game. But yeah, obviously the big thing lately has been Jake DeBrusk. Everyone's talking about how great he's been playing. He's got this hot streak. He's up on the
packages
top line.
that could wind up happening with him.
Yeah. And so then I think it kind of turned into, oh, well, if Bruce Cassidy's playing on the top line, like, then maybe he is kind of sticking around. Like, I was like, no, this is very clearly like, okay, here's like him at his prime. Like, let's showcase him with Patrice Bergeron and Brad Marchand, because no one can play poorly next to them. Which, for the record, when they played that first game in, was it against the Sharks? I think it was against the Sharks.
Yeah.
Those 2 goals he had in that game, neither of them, he was even on the ice with Marchand and Bergeron at the time. So I'm like, it has nothing to do with who he's playing. He just is on this hot streak. And that's not like uncharacteristic of him. We've seen him go on these streaks so many times. And he has these low lows where people have problems with him.
Yeah.
But again,
people were calling for him to get sent down at one point,
Yeah. Because right now we're seeing probably the best he's been playing in his career. Like, granted, it's a very short time frame. And I think he did like in those 100% earlier
the best in his career.
Yeah, like over long term, he definitely had better seasons. But right now, if he continues on this, I think this would easily be his best season if he can just go from this point on. But again, streaks are normal. We see in every sport. And he is on such a hot streak right now, to the point that now I've seen a lot of Boston writers have kind of turned from like
the narrative.
Like here, like instead of trading DeBrusk for this. I saw an article today from, I'm not going to name names, obviously, but it was a writer who had a lot to say about Jake DeBrusk, maybe not even a month ago. And now this is why we should keep Jake DeBrusk. I was like, fuck you. All right, fuck you.
My question for you. Yeah, so I'm right there with you. I'm like pro Jake DeBrusk. If he wants to get out of here, cool. Like, do whatever is best for the kid. But my question is, I don't think if you know hockey at all, regardless of what you want for him, his trade value is peaking right now. And if you want any sort of return for him, you do it, and you do it right now, because it's best for everyone if you do it now. You're going to get at least a decent return for him, 1, and 2, he'll be happy out of it. And then you guys can leave on as civil terms as you can possibly have, because then if you keep him, you risk him not wanting to play where he's at anymore. And he's obviously not going to be producing the same way if that's how he feels.
Yeah, no way. Like, I don't think it's realistic to ask anyone. Like, he's scoring every game. Like, sometimes now multiple goals per game. Like, just in general, you can't keep up with that trend. Like, there's no, like, David Pastrnak can't even keep up with that. Like, no. You're going to have your off nights. You're going to have your streak, like, lows of the streak, whatever. But yeah, that's the thing. Like, his trade value is at the highest right now. And I honestly think it's kind of annoying that someone went, like, I understand wanting to ask, like, oh, he's playing good, but to go back and ask, like, oh, like, does he still want to be traded? Of course he still wants to be traded. Like, he's been in this limbo period now for, like, so long that it's probably reached the point that he's getting more frustrated because he is still here. And now he's like, okay, I'm at the height of my game. Please trade me away. Like, trade me away. And another thing I'd like to say is he did get a girlfriend in, I want to say December. But remember how, like, WEI had all this shit to say about, was it Swayman and his girlfriend?
It was Swayman and his girlfriend.
And they're like, oh, like, she's the cause of this. I was like, funny how you're so quick to blame the girlfriend in, like, negative play. But
and now Jake DeBrusk
playing his ass off since he got a relationship. Shout out to my girl, Mia, okay? Like,
yeah. Come on the show, Mia.
I would say we follow each other on Instagram. So I'd be like, hey, girl, like, we don't give a fuck about your boyfriend, but, like, do you want to come on our show?
Come have a bev. Do it. Do it. I love it. Okay.
So I'm like, credit to Mia if that's how we're going to play this game in this market.
Yeah, we'll give you all the time to talk shit about anybody you want, anything you want. Come hang. Stop by the show. But since you actually brought up Swayman, I do want to talk about, you have his, like, February stretch in here, him winning Rookie of the Month. I'm just so happy for him. Like, if you've been listening to our podcast, and we say this all the time, it's like, if you've been listening, if you haven't been listening, whatever, but it's like, we have been, like, the biggest Jeremy Swayman stan since, like, the season, even, like, before the season started. So it's like,
I would say the only person above us is Cam.
Literally. Yeah. Yep. Sway Butte. Go follow Cam. Shout out. We have, like, a Cam and a Dilly shout out every week. So go follow Dylan Sanders and our friend Cam Davis. Shout out. Hello. But anyways, yeah, I'm having so much fun. It's cool watching people that you have covered in the Hockey East or, like, watched in the Hockey East and stuff like that, like, be successful in the NHL. It just feels more close to home. It's cool for those stories. And he's just such a cute kid. Like, and I call him a kid. We're, like, the same age, but
no, he's so freaking cute. He did a post-game interview with Jack Edwards, and Jack was like, oh, like, now that you've been back up from Providence, like, obviously no one wants you down there, but, like, what's the thought? And Jeremy's like, I don't know. I wasn't, like, spiteful of it. He's like, I'm just happy to be here and we're winning games. Like, I'm having a great time. And I'm like, you're so cute. And that's so fucking, like, that's the perfect answer. He's like, I don't care. I'm just happy to be here.
Okay. I want your opinion on something, because do you have, like, we know that I love to come up with crazy theories, and I have one, and that it's Jeremy Swayman gives me cat guy vibes.
See, the only reason I don't agree with it is because I know he's such an outdoorsy guy that I feel like the outdoorsy guys are always the dog people.
See,
like,
I feel like he's like
out in Alaska, like, hiking around and shit, and, like, in
he's like the golden retriever of human beings, though. Like, I feel like he's just so happy to exist that, like, he needs something like a cat, or, like, has something like a cat, and, like, finds, like, just, like, the coolness of, like, cats. I don't know. He gives me cat guy vibes. Someone please reassure me that Jeremy Swayman gives you cat guy vibes.
I do think, because I feel like a lot of guys don't like cats. I think he's not one of the cat haters. He's someone that understands the intricacies of a cat.
Yes.
Like, you have to be
he gets it.
Yes. To understand cats. And I think he does.
I am 1000% with you. I think that is a fact. He gets it. He gets them. Also, shout out to Vinny, Sarah's cat. Love you, Vin.
That's
Psychopath.
Vinny. He's such a bitch.
Psychopath. So I see you want to talk about our favorite team, the Riptide, the Bussin' Tide. What's up with the Rips, baby?
Well, our beautiful, wonderful Riptide, who we love so much, number one. We are actually the number one fans, okay? We are like the number two Jeremy Swayman fans. We are the number one Riptide
We were
fans. I don't
first.
fuck what anyone says.
We were here first. It was me.
But
I was here first, actually. I am the Riptide fan. Fuck with me, you know I got it.
Our Riptide upset the Toronto Rough and ended their 4-game win streak, baby. All right. And Toronto's fucking good. Because I said they've been finding their footing, like they're in their groove. They're good. They're a good fucking team. They're gonna be a playoff team.
Mm-hmm.
And the Riptide came in. Granted, they were at home and they're playing Toronto again this weekend at their home arena in Hamilton, Ontario. It's not even in.
They're gonna win.
I don't know if I go that far, but you know what? Yeah.
For all the people on Twitter who say Jeff Teat is overrated, you're full of fucking shit.
See, but like half those people are saying it as a bit, but then there's people that like go and reply to it and agree with them. Like, cut the cameras. This is a joke. That was a joke. Like, please don't expose yourself like this. And of course, our boy Jeff Teat had a huge night. Callum Crawford had a huge night. What more can you ask from our wonderful?
What a time to be alive.
What more? And
talk your shit. Talk your silent shit, Jeff Teat. Talk it.
I hope to God he doesn't watch this. I was watching.
I hope he does.
And I hope he doesn't. I was watching all his. Not just him. I was watching the post-game conferences from the Riptide Toronto game, and I saw, because I've never really seen him do a ton of media availability, and I saw him like at first I watched his coach, whatever. I was like, oh, like Jeff Teat. It's like 3 minutes, and it's just like so awkward.
I love him.
And I was watching.
Oh, are we having a guest appearance? We haven't had a guest appearance in a minute. Oh, wait, no, the dogs are here. No, send them in. Oh, it's just Millie. Oh,
it's Miss Girl.
It is Miss Girl. Millie, do you want to say hi? I know you love the attention. Come here. Okay, or not. She looks like Dobby, so whatever. See ya. Okay, bye. Anyways, Jeff Teat supremacy continue.
Yes, always Jeff Teat supremacy. The Riptide, they're going back to play Toronto again. Now they have Dan Lomas. I don't want to butcher his last name. Dan Lomas is returning this weekend. That's very exciting. Big weekend for the Riptide. Big weekend. We love that for them. Go Riptide. That was the only upset though. Panther City.
Yeah!
Our boys in Panther City got their first home win. They beat Vancouver. It was a very back and forth game. I was watching. I was like, this could go either way. I really don't know what the fuck is about to happen. It was a lot. They got their
City
first
supremacy.
The two bottom teams.
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm a Jags fan, bitch. We're not all blessed from Boston.
I know. And I'm like watching the NLL and like I sent her.
Check your privilege.
I sent her a Slack chat the other day because I was like going over who I want for 2 of the week. And I was like, oh, it's possible I might have developed kind of a Riptide bias. And like, they're like, yeah, you have. You have. No.
Yeah, I have. And what's wrong with it? It's okay.
And I was like, hell yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of upsets, which I wouldn't call Saskatchewan winning over Colorado upset. They're another one that was like back to back. They lost to them the weekend before in Colorado. It was in Colorado, I think. And then they came back to Saskatchewan this weekend. They won. Now they're up to 3 wins on the season. So they're kind of back in the playoff hunt there, the Western Division. Me and Mackie talked about this. They're like, okay, that's like a good first step, but like they're gonna have to win at least one of their next 2 games to like stay in that. And I still think they're gonna have to make moves at the trade deadline, which we can get to eventually down the road. Colorado lost. San Diego lost, which was very surprising because they still are at the top of the West, but they lost to an Eastern Division team in Albany, which Albany's also very good. They were on a 3-game losing streak, so that was good for them to win that one. But I like watching San Diego Seals play. I think they're an exciting, like, good offensive team. So I was a little disappointed they lost. I'm like, maybe I just like all Western Division teams in the Riptide. Because I also like Vancouver, and they also lost. But they lost to Panther City, so
it's okay. I much prefer Panther City.
But yeah, it was
invest in our metaverse.
A weekend of a lot of upsets. And now this weekend, Saskatchewan's going to Panther City. And I know technically that's like Saskatchewan's already beat Panther City at home. I'm like, now I'm just kind of hoping for chaos and that Panther City's randomly going to beat them again.
Hope so.
Or not again, but beat them a first time, but get another win at home and just kind of fuck with the whole Western Division because I would love that. I like the chaos. We love the chaoticness.
It's like my life is literally the Elmo on fire meme.
Yeah.
So it's perfect.
Like, keep it coming. Keep it rolling.
So I want to talk about the Jags really quick, just because there were a couple things that happened while we were off with them. I want to talk about draft season really quick. I doubt you have any feelings about the Patriots draft yet.
Zero.
Okay. So I'll talk about the Pats for a second. I think that the biggest headline for me surrounding the Patriots that I've seen, I was listening to Felger and Maz talk about it today, is if the Patriots should take a receiver in the first round. And sort of the argument around it has been the talent that's been found in later rounds of the NFL draft at that position. And it's kind of one of those positions you haven't really needed to draft early for. And I'm kind of on that side of things, looking at like the people who have been drafted pretty late in the last few drafts. Like, you look at people like Deebo Samuel and DK Metcalf, like they've been drafted so much later that I don't think that should be a point of emphasis for the Patriots. I don't know. I think that they need to go all defense early. Like, I think that would be the best thing that they could wind up doing for themselves. But the Jags draft in particular is making me really anxious just because. So Mel Kiper is kind of famous for his mock drafts. He usually gets things pretty right. And I saw that. So personally, I am the kind of person who likes to draft. I don't know about you or how you feel about it. I like to draft value over need. Do you have a preference?
I've never really thought about it, but now that you say it, I feel like, I think that's the best way to approach things. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that that's something that the Jaguars haven't really done. The only time that I've seen them do it, hopefully successfully, not that we know right now, but the only time that I've seen them do it in the moment over the last few years was when they took Trevor Lawrence and then like you have to do that. You add a running back in the first round, that you hope is kind of gonna work out well with Trevor Lawrence after that. But I don't know. So, but that's something I don't think that they've done well. And the thing that I kind of have seen with this draft is that they have the Jaguars have taken an offensive tackle over one of the two edge rushers who are kind of, the superstars of the draft, and Evan Neal, the offensive tackle from Alabama, and then Aiden Hutchinson from Michigan. And it's like, I don't know. I think that that's just, I would rather have one of those two than take someone like Evan Neal, which I know we need. And we saw in the Super Bowl, it's kind of proven with what happened to Joe Burrow. Like, he needed an offensive line. But I think that the value in those two edge rushers is a lot higher. But I saw that Mel Kiper had, and I if you know how to say his name, please let me know. This is just the research that I've done. Akeem Ikwanu, from the offensive tackle from NC State, who wasn't even really on anyone's radar at first, but now he has the Jaguars taking them early. But I did have to say that I think he's grown on me a little, because I learned that his name means my effort will not be in vain. And that's kind of fucking badass.
Ooh.
Even though I do think that I would prefer Evan Neal over him if we were going to take that position in the first round of the draft. That's just kind of what one of the headlines that's been surrounding the Jags. So I wanted to talk about it. The combine is also this week, and Doug Peterson's interview, he's growing on me a little bit. I'm going to throw that out there as well. My last point about the Jags I wanted to talk about is they are the Hall of Fame game this year against the Raiders in Canton, Ohio. And I kind of want to go.
In Ohio?
Yeah, to Canton. It's like a 10-hour drive. I don't know. I kind of want to go. This is like a once in a lifetime thing, and I kind of want to go.
True.
So I think I'm gonna. I found 2 tickets in the 4th row for like $250 a person, and I might like pull trigger on them. I kind of want to go.
I say do it.
Should we go to Ohio?
Ohio? Fuck yeah.
The worst state in America.
I'm like, when else will I go to Ohio, honestly?
Should this be our fall trip? Okay. All right. I will look into tickets and hotels. That can be our fall trip. We'll go ahead and plan that, especially since we don't know what's going on with baseball. And if we're going to make it to a Brewers game, we should just full send.
Yes. Down.
All right. We'll do it. And the only other thing I want to talk about is the Celtics are playing the Grizzlies tonight. Ja Morant, the potential NBA MVP, has been killing it. And I think that it's going to be a really interesting game. I'm actually going to watch this and build some furniture, I think. But the conversations that I've seen kind of surrounding them in like Boston media is thoughts about him versus like the Brown and Tatum talent-wise conversation. A lot of people have been asking, if you would take one of them right now or Ja Morant right now. And I'm excited to see kind of these arguments be solved tonight. I'm excited about it. I love Ja Morant. I do have his jersey. If you have ever seen my jersey rack back here, I do own it. And I love him. I don't know, like he's kind of one of those stories that if you followed from the beginning, it's cool to see where he's gotten. So I will be watching the Celtics game tonight. By the time you're hearing this, we will have seen what goes down with that. But I guess you can this was a pretty good show as we like kind of move towards like our closing stuff.
Yeah, we've covered a lot.
We've covered a lot and we've had some really good conversation, I think.
Yeah. Good for us.
Yeah, good for us. So moving on to our pop culture shit of the week. I see that you have something that I have another question for you but I want to see what you have to say about this before I ask you my question.
Okay, so yeah, for my pop culture thing of the week, Sydney Sweeney is engaged. This is very heartbreaking for literally everyone ever, I would say. I'm like, it does not matter who you are, what your sexuality is. Sydney Sweeney being engaged, like, we've all fucking lost.
Icon.
We've all collectively lost.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Good for her. Mourn our breakup. Dating. I'm like, they've been dating, I think, since 2017. And I've seen interviews with her. Like, he's definitely like rich, but he's not like super famous or anything. And like,
yeah, I've seen him.
Yeah, she's like, I don't want to date anyone that's like famous or in the spotlight because I like to just be known like as who I am and know that person's dating me for who I am, like all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, like I respect that. Like,
good for her.
They seem very cute and happy together. Like, I'm so happy, and I'm so excited to see what her wedding dress looks like. But I'm like, what an L for us all.
Yeah, totally an L for us all. Yeah, I love Sydney Sweeney. I think that she's dope. I think that all of her body positivity stuff is pretty freaking sweet. I'm going to warn people listening to this who don't want Euphoria spoilers that I'm going to ask you something that is going to spoil Euphoria. So fast forward to our tea party. We always have our timestamps down below. But fast forward to that if you don't want to spoil it right now. So Jason was supposed to catch up on Euphoria. He was supposed to watch the first episode because I watched the first episode and he never did. And now it's too late. So I'm definitely not going to go back and watch it at this point because I'm way too lazy. And I feel like I've seen a ton of shit on Twitter. Can you summarize the entire season for me and like a little recap real quick? Just because I need to know what happened and like what the points were because I'm like nosy and curious, but I'm way too fucking lazy to go watch the entire season alone.
Okay, so with Rue and Jules, Rue relapsed and like she just hit rock bottom.
Okay.
By the end of the season, she gets it. Like her mom like gives her a lot of tough love. And in the last 2 episodes, you see her, she looks a lot healthier. Like she definitely seems happier. Her and Lexi seem to be getting close again. Jules and her are no longer a thing because that's very obvious. They're like a toxic relationship going on there. At the end of the finale, Jules comes over. Is like, I still love you. Like, I just want you to know that. And then Rue's just like, okay, like have a good life. Felt like this just isn't good for us. Which I'm like, hell yeah, sister. Good for you. I'm like, yeah, that's right. Focus on your sobriety. We love that. So that's what's going on with like Rue and Jules. Jules also like cheated on Rue at some point, but like honestly, with like Dominic Fike's character, the whole thing is like stupid. Anyways, the Cassie, Nate,
Maddie
Maddie
drama.
drama. So, as I'm sure you figured out from Twitter, like right away, Cassie hooked up with Nate at the beginning of the season, and they continued to hook up. Then Maddie did not find out, like, obviously she was broken up with Nate, but like they're kind of in the process of getting back together, but he's super abusive, manipulative, you know.
Obviously.
We all know that.
We've all been there.
I would say, who hasn't dated that?
Which one? Honestly. Take your pick.
Then Rue like ends up saying it was when they're like kind of staging an intervention for Rue, and like Cassie like says stupidly to her, just take it one day at a time, like stay strong, and everyone's like, shut the fuck up with your Pinterest ass quotes. And then Rue's just like, hey, like, because she saw Cassie get into Nate's truck one night, and she didn't say anything, but she's like, hey Cassie, how long are your fucking Nate shakeups? And like this huge thing. And then finally we got to see, because they held you out for 3 episodes before you could actually see Maddie swing on Cassie. We finally got to see it. She fucked Cassie's shit up, as expected. Also, Nate already dumped Cassie at this point. So.
Zoink,
and
scoop.
Nate got his dad arrested for like child pornography and stuff. And there's just a lot going on there. The good news is, and big part, everyone loves Fezco and Ashtray. Ashtray's dead.
What happened?
Going to jail for sure. So do you know? You saw the first episode season, right?
Yeah.
And you know Faye, the girl who's like living with them, and how like someone killed someone, and then like they're also drug dealers, so it's this whole big thing.
Yeah.
It came out that like they killed this guy mouse, and so then the police showed up and raided Fezco's house, like the drugs, or hear about the murder too. And then Ashtray's like this defensive ass little like 10-year-old. He has a gun, he's like shooting at the police, so they just straight killed him. Even though Fez is like, hey, like just put your hands up, like let it go, like just surrender, like all this stuff. But he's like, no, we're protecting my brother. Shoots the fucking police. They straight up kill him. Fez definitely going to jail. He missed Lexi's play, and Lexi's all upset, and we don't know what her reaction is the whole thing yet. It's just sad because they were so cute together. I love the like little like, you know, Lexi is like cute little girl, and then like drug dealer Fez was a soft spot for her.
Tough looks, man.
It was a lot.
Okay.
It was a lot, but I will admit the finale itself was kind of underwhelming, just because I kind of expected everything to play out that way. Also, I'm like so deep in Euphoria TikTok that I think I knew every spoiler already, but
yeah,
it was a lot.
All right. No, that was all I needed to know. I'm definitely not gonna watch it. My pop culture shit of the week, Jack Harlow. I don't know if you saw this. Jack Harlow, the rapper, is now an actor in, I think it's White Guys Can't Jump, like a remake or a spinoff or something like that. And I'm just like, good for him, but I'm just confused. Like, I didn't know that this was like a passion of his, I guess.
I feel like it's not. I just feel like no one has a better PR agent than Jack Harlow. You see Jack Harlow's face everywhere. You see all this positive shit about him, like how hot he is, how talented he is. I do love Jack Harlow. I will fully admit I feed right into that shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoever is his PR agent is working overtime, because that guy is everywhere.
It's true. Yeah, I didn't even think about it like that. That's actually a good point, and that makes sense. So I want to get to our tea party of the week before we get to our tweets. I love your tea party segment, so can you talk to me about it?
Yeah, so it's not finalized. It sounds like they're still in the interview process, but basically the Red Sox, like, they came out with who they're, not just the broadcasting booth, the entire broadcasting team is going to most likely be. You know, you have I think Kevin Youkilis, like Kevin Millar, and then also Maz.
I'm watching Felger and Maz right now. Yeah, and they were talking about it yesterday.
People like say a lot of shit. Like, I don't like Maz in the terms of Felger and Maz, but I do think he knows a lot about baseball.
He does.
That show that they have him on now, they're just like, the whole thing is being negative about the Red Sox, and they're like, I don't want to hear that. I'm like, if he's on Nesson, it's not gonna be like that. But I'm like, seriously? it's entirely a white podcast team.
All dudes.
You start like not ever saying they've been great with the diversity, but I'm like, it seemed like over the last like few years they were stepping in the right direction. Like the Orioles have Melanie Newman, who's like their play-by-play, like up in the booth, and then we just have like, don't get me wrong, I want Eck there as long as he wants to be. The rest of them, like Dave O'Brien, I'm whatever about. The others, like whatever.
How do you go from Garen Austin and Jemai Webster to like what are we regressing? What are like I can't say anything obviously, but like I am frustrated.
I just saw it and like I think some Boston account made a collage and like I'm like, why would you do this? Because it just look at the collage of all their faces together. I'm like, this is a terrible look.
Yeah.
It could be any person. Any of these guys could just say person besides Eck because he's like orange.
Yeah, I this is just another reason for me to not want baseball. And that's on I can't do it. I'm done. My Tea Party segment. I don't know if you saw this. I'm sure you did because I know you're on TikTok. I want to talk about Annie Agar. I was a big Annie fan. Like I like that she could poke fun at people. I like that she could poke fun at herself. I kind of have, I don't want to say a similar shtick because I don't think I poke fun at people the same way that she does, but like I get that sense of humor. So I appreciated that there was someone who was willing to like have that. But it came out. So I think she'd been kicking Jags fans and Jags Twitter for a hot second. And someone finally got fucking sick of it. And they went and like dug up her old like Trump rally tweets, like her racist ass fucking comments, all this crazy shit, and got her like beyond canceled. I don't even know if she's come back to Twitter since. I unfollowed her.
She posted a TikTok yesterday. And like she tried poking fun at herself too, like, oh, kids say the dirtiest things when they're young. Like it was supposed to be some like spoof of something. The replies.
I need to go look at that.
I would have deleted my account right there. There was a reply of just one person doing like 5 tweets in a row booing her, and they all had like over 100 likes. So I was like, girl, cut the cameras.
Damn. Yeah, it was bad. Like, and she gained followers out of it too. That's the crazy thing. Like thousands.
Really?
Yeah. So did someone else that we have chat about in silence, actually. Yeah. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to talk about. That is the tea. That was the most tea we've ever given. But yeah, I'm kind of like at the point where I'm just like, I don't know. And like everything that fuck all that. I'm good. I do want to talk. I don't know if you have any tweets of the week. I've had some crazy shit. I think that I had my first kind of like fuck Twitter moment recently. Like, just like, you know how like sometimes you'll be over Twitter, like people that reply to you and stuff like that. I think it was the first time that I was just like, this app is so fucking stupid sometimes. But like, it was just kind of one of those, like, it was like my first real moment where I was like, this isn't fun.
Yeah. I completely get that moment. Yep.
Yeah. So I had one of those, but I also wasn't really on Twitter a ton because I had a concussion. So the only kind of tweet that I can think of that I actually fucking cried laughing at last night, like when I tell you I cried, like I have a video of me on my phone fucking crying at this tweet. Anthony, our bussin' king, I tweeted that my neighbor told me that her cat has feline HIV, and it blew my mind. I did not know that could happen. And I felt so bad for the cat. So I was like, just so confused. And I tweeted about it. And Anthony tweets me back and he says, Kendra, bussin' news. My cat does not. I can't start laughing at that tweet because I'll actually pee myself right now. But it was so fucking funny to the point where I was pause.
Shout out pause.
The homie. But no, I was laughing so hard that I had to take a video of myself because it was so absurd.
Well, the only tweet that I think of just like recently also has to do with Anthony. I like made my tweet like thread today about the whole mini golf thing, whatever, and someone quoted like tag yourself on the insecure man, and Anthony response just goes, "I am the golf ball."
I love him so much.
Anthony, we love you. We know you're watching this on YouTube right now. We love you.
Truly a king. Shout out Anthony, Bussin' King, always. So I only have one closing thought, and it's that we are going to the Revs game on Saturday at 1:30, home season opener. Super excited. Let us know if you're going to be there. Actually, you won't need to let us know if you're going to be there because this is coming out on Saturday and we will already be there. So if you saw us, what's up? But I also want to add congrats to Matt Turner. He actually is going to Arsenal, but he was the Revs goalie. Is going to be a dad, so that's it. Congrats to Matt Turner. Yeah. Sarah, do you have any closing thoughts?
Yeah, just kind of more on a serious note. I'm sure you saw all this stuff yesterday about Katie Meyer. She was on Stanford soccer team. She passed away unexpectedly. I think it's just kind of another reminder. Just like I saw one of her, I think it was one of her teammates like posted this really nice like thing. Like we always say like, oh, check on your people, like all this stuff. But, like do more than just like checking on your people. Like really like go that extra mile. Like especially like you don't know what people are going through. I think it's like a perfect example of it. Just because this is someone that on the outside we're all like, wow, like look at this girl. Like she has her life like all together. Like she's so talented. She's so smart. Like all this stuff. And it's just really sad to see something like this like happen anytime. But just like when you see someone that like people do know, because like if you follow soccer in any like college soccer, like women's soccer in any extent, like you probably know who she is.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's just so sad. Like that. Yeah. It's tough. The world's tough. Life's tough. The world's
tough right now. The world is tough right now. Yeah, so I think that's it for us. Thank you so much for listening to our comeback. We love you guys so much. Please tweet us your thoughts about the episode. Follow us at SaturdaysNSeltzers Pod on Twitter, at SaturdaysNSeltzers on Instagram. We love you guys. Like I said, I just can't say that enough. Keep on sipping, y'all, and we'll see you next week.